place. Hard sports all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Hard sports all plays.
Hey, welcome. It's another Monday on Bring It. Hey, it's your host for the night. It's your boy, the coach. At the bottom, I got Jay. And then to my left, I got Tony. What's up, guys?
I'm good, coach. I'm finishing a 4-day weekend, but I got leave all this week. So like Jay, I'm trying to grow some facial hair back out. I'm hoping I can get it to that point. We'll see though.
Okay. Jay, what's up, baby? You good?
Hey, listen. Hey, number one, it's good to be here. Number one, I appreciate you guys letting me come on your show. You know, normally I got to pay people to come on. This one I got for free. I don't know, man. It's pretty cool. I thought my pocketbook's a little bit lighter now. But I will say this, Tony. Now, listen, I got mad respect for the Air Force. I do, man, because we need planes and we need little dudes with the paper clips and the staplers. We need all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to tell you this, man. Listen, Tony. You one of them baby face guys. You know what baby face is? Baby face means your skin's just not meant for hair. I think you're meant to be hairless. Maybe a slight mustache. I don't know if you can get a full beard out of that though, brother. I don't know. You're baby face.
I'm better off than what I was about 8 years ago because to grow something like this would have probably taken me all 27 years of being alive. So I'm happy with this significant growth that I got right now. Okay, this is 4 days, man. This is 4 days. I got something.
Hey, coach, is it just me? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'll use your professional eyes as a secondary opinion. But every time I look at Tony, I see a junior high kid.
Yeah, he's
no, and there's nothing wrong with that. Tony, looking young is great. I'm telling you right now, bro, man. Listen, you can get old, but you can't go. You can't reverse the way you look. So if you're looking young, and I'm saying you look like an 8th grader, take that as a compliment because that means by the time you hit about. Well, I turned 50 this year. So if you hit 50, you're going to look like you like damn near 35. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
If I look like an 8th grader about to be 27 right now, I consider that.
Hey, that's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
Because you stay young. Nobody wants to look old. I don't know. Exactly. I can't think of one person wants to look old. That's crazy.
I know. At least now I have an ID that can legally buy alcohol. Yeah. That's all I care about.
I'm not lying. If you came into my liquor store and I'm the guy behind the counter, I'm double carding you, man. I want to see 2 forms of ID, not just one.
That's fine.
But that's a good thing. I think it's
all right. Hey, so first topic we're gonna talk about All-Star Weekend. So what do you guys thought about All-Star Weekend first?
Man, can we just talk about that slam dunk contest? How terrible was that? It was ridiculous. You know, look, there's two competitions that I look forward to before the All-Star game. I'll be honest with you. I know they get the skill challenge and all these other things, and that's great. But there's only really 2 contests that I really get excited about. Number 1 is a 3-point contest, and number 2 is a dunk. Because I like to watch to see what they're going to do next. What are you going to do next? And I have a problem when I watch a dunk contest and there are more missed dunks than actual made dunks. And I have a problem, Coach and Tony, when the guy that's in the finals, all he literally has to do, because the guy Toscano Anderson is so bad, he's so bad that he can't make a final dunk, no matter how many attempts you give him. And all I got to do is put ball and hoop, and I win. Ball, hoop, win. Don't have to be special. Don't got to be nothing crazy. Ball, hoop, I get a score, I win. Nobody wants to see that. That's just – there's no Dominique. There's no, Michael Jordan. There's no Vince Carter with the hand in the thing. There's none of that. And I don't like it. I don't like the creativity. I don't like the execution. I think there needs to be a new format. Maybe they can audition before they go on the show so they can actually make the dunks. Something.
I think To be honest, what do you think, Tony? Before I jump in, I'm gonna see your opinion.
I mean, it's not bad. I don't know. To me, I kind of see it the same way as I see the Pro Bowl for the NFL. Like it's cool to see them when they individually do stuff like the dunk contest, when they do the threes, but the actual game itself, it just kind of reminds me of the Pro Bowl. Like guys are out there, they're having fun, like they're playing, but are they really playing hard? Are they? Yeah, they're not really playing hard, and it's not really for anything. Now, I do like the fact of it's integrated, so it's not like you just have all the players from the East versus all the players from the West. Like that's a positive from it. But other than that, yeah, I mean it's a pickup game. I think this now makes LeBron James like 5-0 in All-Star games, if I remember right. And he's like the only player in NFL history, not NFL, in NBA history that scored like 300 points all time in All-Star games. So I mean it's not bad. Again, it's cool because of the cool stuff they get to do, but I don't think they should make it a game. Or if they do, I don't even know how you'd put in an incentive for that, because you got so many dudes from so many different teams. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think to come in on, especially when you talk about the slam dunk contest, I think they should bring the professionals, like the ones that go to these slam dunk contests and do it for a professional living, and then you have like tournament of champions where you actually have like 3 or 4 NBA players now going against, I'm not gonna say nobodies, but that's not to their status being seen. It at least make it more interesting, and then you would get a big old pot, maybe what $2.5 million for the winner. Right. Now you kind of get guys willing and wanting to do it, because it's one of those things. It's like, okay, you get the little trophy, but what happens after that? I mean, honestly, truthfully, as the All-Star game, I watched the last 15 minutes because all it is no defense. Steph Curry shooting the ball all over the field. But I think it's interesting about the All-Star weekend, especially having it being back in Cleveland, the home of the King James, LeBron James, for you haters. You heard what he said. One, he had the possibility of coming back. He said he would open up the mind of coming back to Cleveland. What do you think about that?
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. You have to, and here's why I say it. It's not a hate on LeBron. If Cleveland was in the same position that it was, because LeBron left in what, 2018, he left Cleveland, right? They're just now recovering from him leaving 4 years later.
Yeah.
Like that team, it did a complete 180 and was a dumpster fire for the last 4 years that LeBron hasn't been there. Now they've built themselves back up. Now they're competitors. Now they're fourth. They're fourth in the East right now. They're up there, and they're a team that nobody really wants to have to face Cleveland if they don't have to. I don't think LeBron should come back, because LeBron is going to want to come back. He's going to want control. He's going to want to make moves. He's going to want to trade people. And I'm sorry. What is going to be the difference from LeBron being in LA, where he's had the same power, he's had the same control? If anything, he has more bargaining power in LA, because again, it's the Lakers. The Lakers are a successful brand all their own. What negotiating power do you have then when you go to Cleveland? Cleveland's not a big market. The only reason LeBron liked Cleveland is because LeBron is from Cleveland.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
So to me, I don't think it would be good for Cleveland as a whole to take LeBron back as a player. Now, if he wants to go back there as a coach, go back there as a coach. You want to go back there as an assistant? You want to go back there as an investor, part owner? I don't care. Do what you got to do. As a player, no. For Cleveland being able to finally come back from that, no.
Yeah, and to echo his sentiments here, just like he said, there's a couple of things. There's a couple ways you can look at it. Number one, if you look at it from Cleveland's standpoint, like Tony said, if Bron was to go back to Cleveland, it's going to set them back God knows how far. Number one, because he's 38, 39. So he's going to be out of, he'll be out of contention with the 2 to 3. You really want to hitch your wagon to that when you already got a team, like Tony said. You've already got a team that's competitive. You've already got a team that's young. You got a team that's growing. Why would you want to mess with that chemistry just to bring in somebody like LeBron? And I get it. He's name value. Maybe he puts butts in the seats. but you pretty should have butts in the seats already, being the number 4 seed. So I don't really think that's an issue. I don't think it's a money issue. I think they just need to continue to do what they're already doing. They got a recipe for success. They got a hell of a good team, and just do what you do. Don't bring in LeBron. And number 2, I look at it from LeBron's side of it. LeBron's already said that, number 1, the only way he's switching teams is if he can go play with Bronny. And I don't see Cleveland bringing in Bronny. Not that they can't, but I just don't see that happening. And number 2, I don't see LeBron James. By the time Bronny gets to the league, if he gets drafted, by the time he gets there, James is going to be damn near 40. And any team that takes on Bron at 40, because he's 38 right now, right? Am I right? He's 38. Is he 37?
37.
Okay, and Bronny comes into the NBA possibly if he comes out of high school. Is it next year or the year after?
He has 3 years. He'd be 40. You're right.
Yeah, okay, that's what I'm saying. So at 40 years of age, what team is going to take on? Because if you take on Bronny, is the expectation like a LeVar Ball, like it's a father-son combo you got to deal with, you know? So now you got, and then are they going to want to relinquish Couture? I just don't. There's a lot of what ifs in that I just don't see physically working unless Bronny comes to LA. I personally don't think I don't think LeBron leaves LA. I think he stays with LA unless Bronny gets with Oklahoma City Thunder, and then maybe Oklahoma City Thunder will take a chance on LeBron, and then, hey, do what you do at 40 years of age. But I think personally, I don't think Bron is going to go back to Cleveland. I don't think Cleveland should take back LeBron. I think Bron just stays with LA, rides it out, and goes into the sunset, man.
Here's what I believe about LeBron, and I said it from the beginning. When LeBron was in Cleveland, they couldn't win, so he couldn't get over the hump. He couldn't beat San Antonio. When LeBron went to Miami, because guess what? You got your best friend who won a championship. You got Pat Riley, who's considered one of the best /GM/coaches of all time. He's in that conversation. So boom, he won. Went back to Cleveland to win a championship. Of course, probably would have won 2 or 3, but you got a phenomenal team when Golden State came out of nowhere. Then they redid it and signed KD. So I think after that, for LeBron, it was like, okay, I did what I was supposed to do. Like my goal in my entire NBA career was to bring a championship back to Cleveland. Now I brought it to Cleveland. Now how can I set myself up for a whole new level? Because he wants to be a multi-billionaire. Let's go to Los Angeles. I can go to Los Angeles. Now I can start my acting. I can start these movies and this and the commercials, the TV shows. I can get my boys involved. And I think that's really the only reason. And if I win in LA, then guess what? I'm considered a god. Because now I'm in a whole nother status. So him going there, like it wasn't really just not only Los Angeles, it was more of a business move. Because I didn't even know it. And I didn't even know like his son, they got their own little TV series. High school basketball. Like, so I didn't even know it until I was flipping through and I saw it on TV. So he has a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. That's one of the biggest reasons. And of course, when you go home, everybody, when they go home, and you know for a fact, if somebody asks you, if my mom asked me right now, would you go back to Marshall? Yeah, I'll go back.
Yeah. but I gotta ask though, because and again, I'm a compare it kind of to the NFL a little bit. So like you're a Bucks fan, right? Y'all moved on from Jameis, and obviously y'all were the favorites to go get Tom Brady because everything was set up. All y'all needed was Tom to make it click. Like for Cleveland, they don't like would LeBron make a difference if he left the roster alone? I think so. I definitely think he would make a difference. But will he leave that roster alone? Because again, yes. I don't want to trade everything to not have him in 2-3 years down the road. And who knows what he's going to be like 2-3 years down the road? Because eventually Father Time catches up with everybody.
It's already caught up with. I think it's already caught up with LeBron. To be honest with you, it's just it is. It really has. No, hear me out now. Not that it's not taken away from his shooting. It's not taken away from his ability to score. I'm not saying that. I got a friend of mine named Joe Stevens. If you don't know Joe Stevens played for the Houston Rockets during the Barkley years. And he once told me that, like, hey, look, Jay, you got so many jumps in your body before your body's done. You got so many, that's it. And here's the deal with Bron. he's used up a lot of his jumps. He just has. He's messed up his lower back. He's messed up his hamstrings, give him issues. His foot, knees. I mean, you name it, man. LeBron's got an issue, and they have to do load management now with him a little bit. And he's been on the injury list quite a few times, even this season alone. He can't do it. Look, LeBron cannot do a full 82-game season.
No.
He can't. He can't do a whole 82-game season.
And I think that's he's not. He don't need to. Here's the issue.
I get it, but that's what I'm saying. That makes my point. That's why I'm saying Father Time is starting to catch up with him because he's already seeing where he has to do load management because you can't play him a full season, so you got to load manage him, and that's why I say Father Time is catching him, and it's already kind of started.
Here's what happened to LeBron. LeBron thought AD was going to carry the load.
Yeah,
that's what
he about to messed up as LeBron is on injuries,
and that's what he messed it up because that's what he thought. He thought AD is going to carry some of this load, and I don't have to play as much. And that was the whole thing. Even bringing Westbrook in, Westbrook.
Oh man,
we're not even gonna get on it, but Westbrook.
Yeah, that's a whole rabbit hole right there.
But he gets his 25 minutes of I get to chill. Okay, Westbrook, go do what you do. Get your little triple doubles and everything else. Now y'all come back to me in the fourth quarter. That was the expectation. The expectation didn't go like that. And so now everybody is like, hey, LeBron, you got to do what you keep doing. But again,
hey, coach, have you seen the meme? Have you seen the meme where Braun is pushing AD in the wheelchair? That's kind of what this is. That's what this is. Look, if one's not hurt, the other's hurt. And if both of them are hurt, which we've seen that in the playoffs when they played last year and they lost because both of them had hamstring issues. And they were both on the sideline. I mean, what do you do, coach? Look, Father Time is caught up with AD. Unfortunately, AD, I know he's probably what? Well, how old is AD? He's got to be in his high 20s or low 30s, right?
He's not 30.
Yeah, I don't think he's 30. I think he's high 20s. I think he's probably like 28, 29. But here's the deal. You can physically be 29, but your body – given the injuries that AD has had, and the same thing with LeBron, the injuries that LeBron has had, ages you exponentially X number of years. So even though he may be 29, his body may be that of a 31 or 32 or even a 33-year-old due to injuries.
No, I don't. I think
it is. It happens.
I would honestly say I admit that for LeBron because LeBron put a lot of mileage.
Let me ask you a question. If you tear an ACL, which we all know Anthony Davis has torn an ACL, you tear an ACL, do you think just because you reattach it that it's going to be the same ACL that you left with when you first got born? It don't happen like that. You can rehab it. You can try to get it as strong as you can, but it's never like it used to be.
Jay, it should be stronger. With these doctors nowadays, this should
unless they come with some kind of chemical formula.
Jay, we not. This is not an AD and LeBron show. So it's not about them.
Not bad. I'll be quiet.
Can we all come to agreement and say this right here? I could be wrong. That the Cleveland Cavaliers is probably right as of right now. If the playoffs started, is one of the most surprising teams to make the playoffs.
Yes.
If say that one more time.
The Cleveland Cavaliers is the surprising team to make the playoffs. If the playoffs started,
I'll give you that one absolutely.
Because I never would have. I promise you, I wouldn't have bet nothing. Nothing if we sit here and had an argument.
But I can see what they're playing, but the fact that they're number 4 seed, I think that's what's really surprising. Not that they made the playoffs, but how high they are in the playoffs is even more surprising.
Yeah, over the Bucks, over the Celtics, over the Nets.
Yeah, and that LeVert pickup, by the way, the LeVert pickup was amazing.
So, is there any other team that's surprising to you guys?
That's it. That if the playoffs started right now, that are in. Honestly, yeah, I'd say it's the Toronto Raptors and the fact that they're the 7th seed over the Nets. Like, to me, the Nets have just imploded ever since the whole Harden thing hasn't worked out. KD's out. Kyrie obviously is only half there. Like, the fact that they've fallen all the way down to the 8th seed, they're going to have to be a play-in. Like, that's bad.
I said that from the beginning with them. When the Rockets traded away Harden, I knew we were in a rebuild, but I knew we were going to be rebuilt. So I was just hoping we could get enough picks for him. And when I saw him go to the Nets, I was just like, okay, you got Harden, which is an ISO guy, not really a leader, but can't really carry a team, but he can be a good complimentary guy. And then you got KD, who's an injury prone, but yet still great superstar. And then you got Kyrie Irving, who God knows what Kyrie Irving thinks from day to day, because, you just never know what Kyrie's going to do. He still won't take the damn shot and be, 100% there. There's no way that Nets team was ever going to really be successful from the get-go. They look good on paper. They smell good on paper. But, man, the reality of that team is they are always going to implode because of the personalities and the injuries. And I wouldn't be surprised if they slipped out of the playoffs, to be honest with you.
No, they'll make the playoffs. They'll make the playoffs.
They'll make the playoffs, but they're going to make it as a play-in team. And I wouldn't be surprised if they got beat in the play-in round.
But I said it from the beginning. I said it when Kyrie, KD, and James Harden. One thing what people got to realize when you talk about playoffs, especially in basketball, because it's 7-game series, there's two things that you got to have on your side. One, you got to be a coach, because you got to have a coach that can make the adjustments. If you go back and you look, and even if you looked at the NBA Finals with Phoenix versus Milwaukee, Phoenix couldn't stop the pick and roll. They couldn't stop the pick and roll to save their life. The second thing that you got to have what you call it, playoff experience. Hence the fact that if you go back and you look at all the teams that win championships, it's always the same teams. It was either LeBron was going to get there, it was Golden State that was going to get there. You had San Antonio at one point in time. So it's consistently the same people that always win championships. Hence, when you look at Cleveland and you look at the Chicago Bulls, they're still young teams. You look at the average age that win championships, it's like 28, it's like 29, 30. Because you got to have that pedigree, like used to going through it and everything else. So when I looked at them, they don't have a leader. KD's not a leader. He doesn't like trouble. He don't like drama. He gets all mad. If he fights you on Twitter and he makes fake accounts. And one thing about Kyrie, ever since I seen him in college, he's never healthy, or there's always something. And Jay, you are a Houston Rockets fan. We've all seen Harden choke when the stuff gets serious.
I will say this though, but you know what, Coach? I will say that the best time. Hey, Coach, I'll say this: the best time that Harden could have got a championship, honestly, was when they were going up against Golden State. They took them 7 games, and the only reason they didn't get past them was because that was when Chris Paul got hurt, and that was a leader. That really was. Chris Paul was a leader of that team, and I think if Chris Paul had stayed healthy, I think the Rockets would have gotten into the would have gotten into the finals and got past Golden State. Absolutely.
I agree with you.
But unfortunately, it happened the way it happened, and I think that was probably the last time Harden will ever see that.
And then you can flip it even the next year when everybody got hurt.
Yeah. It was just crazy.
I don't know who it was. It was either just Steph or it was just Clay, and they still got walked off. So
it was Steph. Like Steph was the only one that was still healthy that was having to carry the team.
Clay that whole thing with Clay, man, was just horrible. I mean, if it wasn't the ACL, it was the Achilles, or if it was the Achilles, it was the ACL. I mean, and he didn't even come back. Well, he tore the Achilles, came back for what? Maybe a game, maybe a week or two, and then he tweaked the ACL, and then he's done. Now he's up for a whole nother year. I mean, I feel bad for Clay, but I think this year he's going to be okay. I think this is kind of like his real comeback year.
Yeah, he'll be fine. So staying with the whole Cleveland thing, we both all three agreed that they are the surprise team in the NBA. And kind of go back on a little bit with LeBron. LeBron pretty much he said, "Hey, Dad, my last season is gonna be when my son makes it to the team." So do you think by him saying that, because it is, regardless of the situation, no matter how you want to say it, that it is still LeBron, do you think somebody will draft Bronny early just to have a chance to run, or even in owners to make some money because it's LeBron James, or teach them to win a national, not a national championship, but a championship? What do you say, Jay?
I mean, there is that possibility, right? Because, I mean, at the end of the day, man, it's all about selling tickets. Everything's about selling tickets. That's how they make their money. Yeah, it's nice to say I got a championship. It's nice this, that, and the other. But at the end of the day, man, the regular season is where they make the bread and butter. And if they can take somebody like that in, yeah, absolutely. Do I agree with it? No, I think you're stunting yourself by doing that. But at the same time, is there somebody that's going to take a chance on it? Absolutely. Somebody will bite and take the bait and will take the bait.
What do you think, Tony?
Oh yeah, I'd agree. I think somebody will, and like I said, I could even still see LeBron going back to Cleveland, but I think the owner, the GM, and the coach would just have a sit down with LeBron and just say, hey, we're gonna have say in the team. Like if you want to offer advice, you want to offer input, we're still gonna listen to you because you're still LeBron James. You still are a legitimate voice. But as far as you kind of running everything and making kind of tearing apart everything that we've built, no. And I think it honestly, to me, it kind of sucks for Bronny. And I say that because now you're going to almost always live in the shadow of your dad unless you surpass that. Unless you do more than what your dad has done, that's the expectations you have to meet. And if you fail, if you make one mistake, if you screw up, I'm not going to say it's game over, but you are going to get criticized so much harsher as compared to, say, like the ball kids. Like the ball kids, their dad is hyping them up. He's selling them. They're the greatest basketball players ever. And we've kind of seen it burn at least 2 of those 3 kids, and they've had to reprove themselves later on down the road. Whereas I'm really hoping that doesn't happen the same way to Bronny. And I really hope that doesn't hurt him in the long run, that he's able to actually, just be great and not live behind his dad's shadow and not be, publicly criticized to no end if he, fails or makes a mistake.
I think it's hard for him because regardless of the situation, you're in his shadow. Yep. No matter what you do. I mean, you can say the same thing for Michael Jordan's kids. It's like they think, and it's hard for the simple fact of the matter. When you take Jordan and you take guys like LeBron, like they lived a hard life. Like LeBron was just him and his mom, and traveling and doing and going to all these AAUs and doing this. Bronny got it easy. He's not hustling for nothing. So it's kind of. I think that's the different mentality. Look, Bronny's playing it because he's playing it, 1, because of his dad, 2, because he has a passion for it.
Yeah.
But when you have people that see him as LeBron.
Yep.
And same way, and you have to realize, even with the hate with the whole LeBron versus Jordan, or the LeBron's better than Kobe, and you're gonna find every little thing to scrutinize and hate on him about it. But if I'm an owner, I'm not gonna lie to you, I draft him. You know why I draft him? Because I know for a fact, if I got LeBron, I know that he's going to bring at least $3 million to my area because people are going to come watch him play. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. It wouldn't even have to be. You can't even say Cleveland just a contender. It might not have to be a contender. It could be like we're almost there.
Mm-hmm.
So I like it. I mean, I honestly think I'll draft him. I think what's his name? John said, "Who you think would be better, Bronny or Pippen?" Son, I haven't really watched too much of Pippen, son.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Yeah, I definitely haven't watched Pippen Jr. Hell, I didn't even know there was a Pippen Jr.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I didn't either. I didn't know Scott had a son, and I didn't even know he was playing, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm a high school coach, man. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I don't watch too much of high school basketball like that. Even high school football, if it ain't in my area or someone I know.
Yeah.
But I like it. I like what LeBron's doing, man. LeBron's a businessman. He's trying to he put everybody on. So moving on. I know everybody's seen that fight. You seen that scuffle this Sunday, Jay?
Yeah, but you got to look at the history of. And I like Juwan as a player. Hell, I like him as a person. But man, damn, as a coach, as setting the example for your students. I mean, come on, man, come on. You can't just do what you feel like. And he said somebody put a hand on him. He said somebody touched him. He said somebody touched him. I don't know. I watched the video. I couldn't see it. So if somebody did, it wasn't visible to us. It's his word versus their word. I'll take his word for it. But here's the deal, right? He's had this issue before. Last year in the Big Ten tourney, he got into it with the University of Maryland's coach and was going to take him out. But they restrained him. Now listen, they restrained this man against getting up into the grill of the Maryland coach at the Big Ten tourney. Now we fast forward, and now we're playing Michigan, versus Wisconsin. And the last thing I see was he put the finger in the dude's face, the head coach's face, and then I see the assistant coach coming from behind, and then he took a swing at – I don't know if he was actually swinging at the assistant coach. I'm not sure who he was swinging at, but he was taking a swing at somebody. You can't do that. I'm sorry, man. You can't do that. You can't get students involved. You can't put students in a situation where students can be jeopardized. They can be jeopardized via injury. They can be jeopardized via their scholarships. You can't do that to your student athletes. You just can't do that. It's wrong. It's a bad example. And I hope Juwan will learn from this. I don't know if he gets another job or if he gets fired, but whatever happens, I think the NCAA has to take an action. They can't just let brawls like this go down. And I think at some point, Juwan's probably going to get let go. There's no way. I don't think he keeps his job.
Nah, he's going to keep it.
Yeah, I don't think he will. So they came out. So he's been suspended for the rest of the regular season. So if Michigan makes it into the playoffs, he'll be back. But he's suspended for the last 5 games. So basically, what had happened for people that didn't watch it, when the game was over, they were shaking hands. The other coach grabbed him. So basically, at the end of every basketball game, there's a line where all the players, all the coaches come up. They shake everybody's hands. So it's customary. You might get touched on the arm. You might get touched on the shoulder. Like you're going to get touched, and it don't necessarily have to be in an aggressive way. You're going to get touched. And that's exactly what happened. And there was already some beef there because he didn't care for the fact that the Wisconsin coach called the timeout when the game was essentially over, because it was a double-digit, I think if I remember right, it's a double-digit loss for Michigan. And he just didn't agree that they called a timeout because Wisconsin put in a bunch of their, second and third string players because why not? It's the end of the game. Michigan's not going to make a comeback type thing. But I agree, and Coach, you can probably attest to this. When you're in that leadership spot, you're the role model for these young men and women, not just on the court, but in the university. Like you are that representative. You're that face. Hey, like if I got beef with you, again, I'm very old school. If I got beef with you, I'll send you a text message. I'll catch you when we're not in front of the cameras. Be like, hey, let's go take this outside, have a gentlemanly conversation, and then we'll come back in. We'll have a beer. Like that's the type of person I am. But I like to think of it in an old school way. I don't think he'll lose his job for it. There's a lot of people that are criticizing him for it. Again, I'm also a big proprietor. There's a time and a place. He just, yeah.
And the thing about it too is I just like you said, I mean, you got to set the example, but they say that Juwan Howard, he was really kind of upset with the way Wisconsin was using their timeouts in that last minute of the game. He felt like, hey, look, you guys are winning. You're way up on us. Just let the clock run out and let us just go back to each other's locker rooms and let's just live to fight another day. But when you want to start doing these timeouts in there, now I'm starting to feel a certain kind of way about this. Like, what are you really trying to do here? You're trying to embarrass us and do this, that, and the other to our kids. And I think when he got into that line, he was already emotionally charged. Like he was pissed and he was ready to do something. And when somebody probably put a hand, maybe they were shaking his hand or trying to shake his hand, whatever. Maybe he took that the wrong way. I don't know. I'm just speculating. But he said somebody touched him. If you're touching somebody in a handshaking line, that's not uncommon. But he was so emotionally charged that he took a swing at somebody for something.
Now the coach stopped him. I guess, to talk about it, and he didn't want to talk about it. And so then that's when he got his hand, and he got. Of course, you know how it is when you get to jawing back and forth. And Juwan Howard, he's in that Fab Five moments. Probably he's still, he probably had
he's having black
socks on, and he looked and he was like, "You ain't finna punk me on TV and in front of my people." So he was doing all this, and that, and everything else. And then of course, you can't do it. You got your mask on. Say what you're gonna say. No one can read your lips because you got the mask on. Say some cuss words if you got to, but just keep on walking and just say, "Hey, I see you suckers at in the Big Ten tournament or whatever," and just leave it at that. Because what you got to realize, you got 18, 19, 20-year-old men, young men, that's already mad and upset, and so now all you did was just trigger it. You just gave them the green light because once because you say the boss threw the punch. Oh, let's go.
Yep, all's fair game.
It's all fair game now. So look, because you can't get mad at me now because I've wanted to do this.
Mhm.
I just feel
That's true.
I just feel you just can't do that because when you're in that position as you're the head coach, you're a leader of men.
Mhm.
And sometimes you just gotta walk away. And I've done it.
Mhm.
Well, I've said stuff under my breath, and then guess what? We got in the locker room, and I let everybody have it. And I said, when we see them again, we're gonna remember this. And when we see them in that Big Ten tournament, hey, we're gonna slaughter them.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
that's how we
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
We gonna beat them. We're gonna beat them in front of everybody. And then guess what? However we feel afterwards, if we want to shake their hand, if not, we can walk right off. And then I deal with it and say, hey, this is how they wanted to disrespect us. This is how we're gonna disrespect them.
Yep.
I mean, that's the only logical way that you can do it, because now they're not gonna fire him because he went to the Final Four last year, so they're not gonna fire him.
Yep.
But I'm with you, Jay. This is the second year in a row that you causing hell in the Big Ten.
Yeah, and especially when you think about it, because when you think of college, like when you think of college sports, when you look at football, it's the SEC. When you think of basketball, it's typically either the Big East or the Big Ten. Like is not very many other schools in between. Like you'll occasionally have like the Big 12, you'll have a Baylor, you'll have like Texas Tech, all them. When you think of college basketball, it's all the Big Ten and all the Big East. Like those are your main money makers. And yeah, you're the face of a school that's almost always in contention with the Big Ten. Like them, Purdue, Indiana, all of them.
Yeah.
When you say Baylor, Tony, you say it with your chest. That's last year's champion. That's a Texas school. You say that with your chest. We're very proud of our Texas schools, Tony.
Hey, I'm right there with you. I get it. I got two Texas boys against. I'm the only Midwesterner. I'm the only true Big Ten person here. Okay, I get you.
That's true. Hey, I get you.
Hey, don't sleep, Tony. Don't sleep on the ACC, man. You got to give North Carolina and Duke them. They do.
Especially since this is Coach K's his farewell season.
His last year, yeah.
Farewell, man.
Hey, you never know what is Duke at right now? Are they like number 8, number 9, right? Somewhere around there.
Duke's
they're projected to be the number 2 seed.
Yeah, man. Hey, that Duke. Hey, they're gonna be. You gotta figure they're gonna be playing for momentum. They're playing for Coach K, man. You get a charged up Duke team. They might have some hard problems on your hand.
Mm-hmm. I agree wholeheartedly. Let's see. Hey, Duke is number 6 right now.
Yeah.
Jay, who's your college team?
Me, I'm a Texas guy, man. I've always been University of Texas all the way through, man.
Okay.
We got rough years in football. We got rough years in basketball. We're in the top 25 in basketball, but man, it's hard, bro. It's hard being a Texas fan sometimes.
You gotta be back. Hey, staying with the college level. How do you feel about it? They only standing at 4 teams for the NFL. I don't know why NFL is on my mind.
Hey, that's on everybody's mind.
But how do you feel about it? The national championship only still having the playoff before.
You asking me?
Huh?
You asking me or Tony?
Both.
Go, Jay. I'm asking both. But go, Jay. I know you excited about this.
About how do I feel about the national tourney? Is that the question?
Yeah. No. How do you feel that they didn't expand the college football? They're not going to expand.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I got you. I was a little upset. I mean, look, it's good at the Final Four level, whatever. I get that, man. But I really would like to. I don't know, though, man. You know what? It's hard. It's hard, right? It's hard because you feel like if I expand it to like 8, if I expand it to 6, okay, what am I really doing? I'm giving some watered down teams to come into the playoffs that really don't belong there. And now I got to sit through this to get to the real thing. But at the same time, maybe one of those teams like a Michigan or somebody that got left out, like an A&M, maybe they would be mostly charged to do something in the playoffs, So you can see from both sides of the coin, you could get a watered down team, or you can get a watered down team that has passion that maybe pull a Cinderella upset on you. I don't know, man. It's. I think for college, I think it's good money wise, though.
So what would your number be if you had a choice?
Man, if I was going to expand it, I'd probably expand it to 6. I don't think I would go beyond 6. I think your top 6 teams, because that gives you 2 teams that should be in the top 4, but maybe they just, for whatever reason in the voting, they didn't make it in. So, okay, so you expand it out to 6 and you got 2. Like, for example, at A&M, when they finish out at number 5, you could probably throw an A&M in there. You could throw an Ohio in there, whatever, and see what happens. But I don't think it should go beyond 6. I think 6 is probably your magical number.
Tony, what do you think?
No, I personally agree they should have. I think if I remember hearing right, but I haven't been able to confirm it looking. There's supposed to be like $450 million on the table if they would have went ahead and expanded it this year.
Right.
And they turned it down. Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and wait till I think it's the 2024-2025 season before they expand it. They expand the playoff. To me, I actually think 8 teams. And I say that because especially when you have kind of team anomalies like this year, like other than Georgia and Bama, who was really the next best team after that? Was it Cincinnati? Not by looks of it in the playoffs. Was it Michigan? No, because they got destroyed by Georgia. And the only reason Michigan's in there is because they were able to beat Ohio State, and Ohio State lost to them and to Oregon both. So, I mean, to me, if you expand it to 8, I kind of agree with Jay. Are you going to have maybe some of those watered down teams get in there and take a spot? Yeah, but it's the same way of, you win the games that you can, and it's just like college basketball. It's supposed to be any given day, a team is supposed to be able to come in there and win. If you're able to win when it matters the most in the playoffs, then that's all that really counts. Will it suck if, say, and again, this is hypothetical, we all know this ain't going to happen, but say, say like Oklahoma gets in the playoffs at number 8, and the very first team they have to face is Alabama, and they beat Alabama. Now you've just made the playoffs 1,000 times more interesting. Now, we've talked about this on the show before. From a financial standpoint, it's not good if Alabama loses early on because that's a lot of money. That's a big brand college team that's going to be out of the playoffs now. But from a college perspective, it makes it more interesting because, okay, now really any team does have a chance. You just have to play your best. But, I mean, that's me. I would say 8. I wouldn't go really any more than 8 because then that just kind of defeats the purpose. I wouldn't want it to be like how the NFL has, 7-7 from each conference. That's too much. And then I agree with Jay. I think if you were to do 14 teams, then you really are like kind of scraping the barrel for, teams that could even make it ranked into the playoffs. And I would say it makes more college games matter. And to where, okay, I don't necessarily want to have this cupcake school like Central Michigan on here. Like, will it be nice to have a win? Yes, but will it help my playoff seeding between, the 3rd seed and like the 7th seed if I beat, say, like a 14th ranked Michigan? Then yes.
What do you mean? What are you trying to say, Tony? You don't want to see UTSA in the championship? I mean, what are you saying?
Jay, I think the best thing they did was keep it at 4.
Hey, but but look, you got a team like Texas that beat Alabama this year. How good would it is good to see Texas A&M up in there? Because what if Texas A&M could have spoiled Bama before they even got to a team like Georgia? I mean, I'm just saying.
No.
We say no, but damn.
No. Because here's why. When you take some of these teams, because like look at the names of y'all saying, it's gonna be the usual suspects. You'll have your Ohio State, you have your Michigan. And then you'll probably have one small school team. And then guess what? You know what everybody else will be? The SEC. Everybody else will be the SEC.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
And then we'll look at you look at the Final Four and it'd be what? 3 SEC teams?
Yeah. And I mean, it's not bad for the SEC. Like the SEC is going to be there. The SEC is going to make money. Even if you expand it to 8, half of those teams are going to be from the SEC. Hell, you could expand it to 12. At least 6 of them are going to be from the SEC. We know it.
And I think that's what the issue is going to be. The more and more you keep expanding it, we still going to say about the other teams.
Mm-hmm.
I said it once. I'll say it again. Let's just go March Madness style Freak it, man. Let's do March Madness style. Let's do Sweet 16. Let's do Elite 8. Let's do Final 4. Let's just do it.
Well, Coach, let me ask you this, because I know you're in SEC country and I'm in Big Ten country. So how often do you ever see these out of conference matchups? You know, how often do you see a Big Ten versus an actual?
You don't really. You don't.
How often do you ever see Big Ten versus SEC other than in the playoffs?
Like, you know what happened? Because a lot of it is because like the NFL, not NFL. God dang, the NFL is like really on my mind right now.
We'll get to that, Coach. You got to focus on college. We'll get to that.
When you look at the college, they have a lot of the schools have their schedules already picked out to 2023, or not 2023, 2026, 2027. Like, you could go online and you could look at who they're gonna play. Because like this year, you're gonna have Alabama versus Texas.
Yeah.
First game of the season is gonna be Alabama versus Texas.
Mm-hmm.
They set this up in 2020. I'm not 2020, in 2017, 2016.
Isn't that crazy how far they put that out?
Yeah, because that's why remember they said they could never get the A&M and Texas game.
Yeah,
right.
Because the schedule
it's just too far out, and they've already got them all made.
They had the schedules already all made. So I think I
don't like that. I think colleges really screw themselves over because teams change from year to year in terms of how competitive they are. And I mean, a team in 2017 won't be the same competitive team in 2020, but yet you've already got them scheduled out as if they were. I hate that. But yeah, I see what your point. I see your point.
And plus, my big thing is, like, you know, what's the old phrase? Iron sharpens iron. So if you have more of these outer conference matchups, if you have these Big Ten teams, these Pac-12, these Big 12 teams facing the SEC, all of these teams are going to get progressively better. All these programs are going to get better. So you're going to have better college football. So yeah, that's to me. I agree with Coach. You know, I think they should personally, you know, maybe set the schedule for like 2 years down the road. No more than 2 years down the road. So that way, because you will probably still have about the same-ish team 2 years down the road as compared to, you know, 6 years down the road. Like, yep, let's finally have Ohio State versus Oregon. Like, now if that would have been Justin Herbert versus, like, you know, Justin Fields, that would have been a hell of a game. And it would have been a much better matchup. But that's just me.
I mean, I agree with you, but that's the hit and miss of not knowing. There's only there's only a handful of teams can actually do that. That's Alabama. But then if you do it 2 years or 3 years, so like take next year. Who do you think really want to play Alabama next year?
Oh, nobody ever wants to play Alabama.
But I think that's what they struggle with, of trying to get games, because you will want to play Alabama, especially after they just lost the national championship, especially when everybody's coming back, because they're not really losing much. They lost alignment, but they got like 6-7 more sitting on the sideline waiting to come on. But now, since I don't know why my mind has been on it since we've been talking about it. I've been bringing this up every second. We gotta get this last 5 minutes. You know we gotta talk about this NFL. Don't ask me why, Jay. I don't know why, because I guess I'm hungover. I'm in honeymoon stage of the Super Bowl and everything. I'm slowly transitioning back into this basketball. I messed up. Also, weekend happened, and I was like, what am I doing with my life? So coming, Relay? I'm trying to figure everything out. So what do you guys think about Tampa Bay, Tom Brady's return? What do you think?
Nope. Say your internet's cutting out pretty bad, Coach.
No, my bad. What do you think about Tampa Bay and Brady return? Who do you think they're gonna put at quarterback?
Oh, I don't know. There's been a lot of reports that say it's gonna be Blaine Gabbert, former number 1 overall pick's gonna finally have his moment. But I've also seen things where it could be Jameis Winston. If I'm Tampa and Coach, you're probably not going. Well, I think Coach is gonna go fix his internet. And for all my Tampa Bay fans out there, you're probably not gonna like it, but I feel like this is the best possible situation if you're not able to get a Deshaun Watson, or if you're not able to get a Russell Wilson. I've heard reports that they're going to be pushing really for both of them. I would stick with Blaine Gabbert as your transition guy. I say that because he's been with Bruce Arians and Byron Leftwich for the last 6 seasons. That's including his time in Arizona, and then he came over to Tampa Bay with them. And think about it, this is really the best chance that Blaine Gabbert has had his entire NFL career. He got drafted to the Jags overall. That's career ender number 1. Then they said you're going to be the starter. That's career ender number 2 as a rookie. Gave him no help, and he basically ended up just becoming a backup journeyman for the rest of his career, basically to now. He's had an opportunity to be in the same system with the same coach. Now he got to learn under Tom Brady as the primary starter. He probably picked up some habits from Tom, if not, picked his brain a little bit. And you still have a very talented roster, even if Tampa Bay loses people. Even if you lose Chris Godwin, you still have Mike Evans. Even if you lose Gronk, you still have Cameron Brate. You still have O.J. Howard. You still have a very good young defense. So to me, if I'm Tampa Bay, if y'all can't get Russell Wilson, if y'all can't get Deshaun, keep Blaine as your transition guy. I don't think he's going to be bad. Luckily, y'all are still in a crappy division that has no idea what it's going to do. Atlanta doesn't know what they're doing. Carolina can't figure out the quarterback situation, and I don't know why their head coach is still a head coach. And that they got Ben McAdoo as their offensive coordinator, so Carolina's down in the toilet. And New Orleans is so far over the cap that they're going to be struggling for the next 2 or 3 years. So to me, Tampa Bay, use Blaine Gabbert as kind of your transition guy, because right now the free agency market for quarterbacks is not great. You got Jimmy G, you got Carson Wentz, Baker Mayfield may or may not be on the table if you want to offer something to Cleveland, but do you really think Baker is going to be the guy? Me personally, I don't think so. So, I mean, who do you really move on to that's not already on the roster that, again, is in the same system he's been in, and I feel like could actually succeed now that he has that same level of consistency. He has a safety blanket in the fact that he's been with Bruce and he's still with an extremely talented team.
Here's my deal with that whole. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Coach. I apologize.
No, man. Look, I'm a Bucs fan. I'm gonna let you.
I know you. I was. Okay. I got you, man. It might be short and sweet. It might be short and sweet. Hey, look, man. I look at these Bucs team, and they're pretty much good at every position except now quarterback, right? You got your running back and Fournette. You got your wideouts still in Evan, and of course, I'm pretty sure Godwin's going to come back. So, you're pretty much set there. I think where you and your defense is in pretty good shape, but definitely your quarterback position is the roughest. So if you go with a guy like Gabbert, then you're pretty much already telling the world that, hey, we're just taking this year off, and we'll come back and try to get in the quarterback market next year. But and you're almost telling you're almost throwing in the proverbial towel and telling your teammates that, hey, we don't think we can do anything. We're just going to roll with this transitional. So we kind of could at least put up maybe a 500 wins, 500 wins or whatever. And I think that's where you go with Gabbert. Or you can try to go after a Carson Wentz, who, for all intents and purposes, looks like he's going to get cut from the Indianapolis Colts. And you could probably roll with the Carson Wentz, who would be better than Gabbert, and maybe give you a shot. Or you could, like you said, you could try with the Jimmy G, and possibly roll with that because he's got playoff experience, and maybe see if Jimmy G can just be a game manager over there with Tampa. Or you could try to, I guess, really go balls deep and try to get Aaron Rodgers. But as you know, they're already trading Jordan Love off and trying to get rid of him. So that tells you they're all in on Aaron Rodgers. So I'm pretty sure he's going to come back if they're trying to ship off Love. So I think probably Jimmy G or Carson Wentz, or last but not least, you could try to make a push for a Deshaun Watson and hope that he gets past these legal issues. And not really even legal. It's not even legal anymore. Now it's just settlements. They're just trying to do the settlement thing. So I think probably Deshaun Watson, Aaron Rodgers, Carson Wentz, those are your 3 guys you'd probably look to see if you wanted to try to compete for a championship again this year.
Yeah, I'm with you. I agree with both of you. I think I'm really not knocking Gabbert, because one thing about it is, Tony, he's familiar with the offense. I would love it, honestly, truthfully. I think we can go to the playoffs. I'm not gonna say win a championship, but we can go to the playoffs with Gabbert. I would love to see it successful out of Gabbert, just for bias reasons of Leftwich to get a head coaching job, because you said everybody made the excuse to him not getting a job because he had Tom Brady. So if he can still put up those same type of numbers, I really, really would love to see that happen. Deshaun Watson, we might know this week because he's in court. Like, his court started today, so we should know probably by this week or next week what's the ruling on him and how much money he's gonna pay out. But he's fine because he got $50-some million doing nothing but sitting at the house doing what we doing pretty much. But honestly, I think we'll be fine, man. We're gonna re-sign everybody, and whoever wants to have a chance to go to the playoffs and possibly win the Super Bowl, I think you should want to come on. Like we're not begging you. I don't want Jimmy. Jimmy G can't throw the football, dog. Jimmy G.
Yeah, that is the downside of Jimmy.
This is one thing about Jimmy, man. Jimmy gonna show you. He's gonna give you some. Oh my God, that is phenomenal. Look at that throw, and then he's gonna give you them. Oh God, what was he thinking? And don't get me wrong, he the opposite of the Cowboys. He sucks in the regular season, but he do his thing in the playoffs.
Well, but that's true. But you got to admit though, Debo in that defense really, and having Elijah Mitchell, that really bails him out of a lot of situations.
Look, Coach, you can't be talking about doing great the regular season and playing like booty in the playoffs without putting Aaron Rodgers' name in that. Look, I ain't denying it ain't just Dallas, but we ain't gonna sit here and talk like Aaron Rodgers is the greatest thing ever either. So.
I agree with you.
That's true though, man. Hey, shit, yeah. I got you. Hey, listen, I got you to the playoffs. Hell, I even got you to the bye week, but don't ask me for much more than that. I'm gonna let the Bay Area come into snow tundra and make us look like idiots. Yeah. Okay.
But we knew that though. But anyway, like I said, I'm not gonna slander. I'm not in the mood for slandering. I got to get my mind right for this basketball. So. That's it for Bring It. Jay, you got any last words, man?
No, hey, listen, I appreciate you guys letting me be on. And don't forget to check out Unscripted Tuesdays, Thursdays, 7 Eastern, and Saturday, 8 Eastern. I appreciate it.
Tony.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for March Madness. I've watched a lot of teams so far. Unfortunately, my basketball team, the Michigan State Spartans, went from number 11 at one point. Now they're out of the top 25. I need Tom Izzo to fix themselves. But as always, it's been a pleasure to be on the show. Make sure you catch Real Talk, which is literally going on right now. I think you're going to catch Jay on there as well. Jay, I need you to,
I'm just trying to be like you, Coach.
I need you to grow out some more scruff in between now when you hop on Real Talk, okay? I need
hey, listen, man. It's growing as we speak. You don't even know, brother.
Jay. Just make that wish, man. Just make that wish.
Hey, listen. Hey, listen. This is me 24/7, man. Lord, just don't let the law come to this house, and I'm good. I'll do whatever you ask.
So, Jay, real quick, why did you cut it?
I cut it because I wanted to surprise my wife because I thought she was cheating on me. So I said, let me just shave all this off. I'm going to go incognito and try to sneak. No, I'm just kidding. That's not why I cut it. No, I just wanted to switch up the game a little bit, man. Just I don't know. I guess I was ready for a change. But now that I realize how ugly I look without a beard, I can't grow it back fast enough. So hopefully, like Tony said, I'll grow it back quick.
All right. Well, that's it, guys. Hey, enjoy. Have a good time. We out.
Yep.
Whole sports all plays. Yeah. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Whole sports all plays.